you for watching today. This is Kinnear. Welcome to another Starfield video. Today I'm testing a method for getting great ships even for low-level characters. By the end, we'll bring in more than 50 Class A, B, and C ships. If you're just hunting for that perfect ship for you or making a few credits, this can work. Let's get started. So if you've seen my earlier video, it was tailored for New Game Plus players, and most of the ship gathering was done on the highest level systems, the level 75s to the far right of the map. We're going to use the same ship landing site method, except in this case, I'm using a level 12 character in the mid-level survival mode settings, and I'm using a level 30 system that's within easy reach of players shortly after starting the game. I've come to Porma 1A. I was originally out here because I picked up the quest for Salinas in the well at Apex Electronics. It's a simple package delivery quest, and it puts us in the same system at a place called the Red Mile. If you haven't been to the Red Mile, you can go there anytime you'd like. It's in Porma. By the end of this process, I've triggered 50 plus ships at this specific landing site. What I wanted to find out was what kinds of ships would land on a level 30 system for a level 12 character. I've sorted the list on the screen now by faction and the type of ship, along with the action or the result that I took. I did add the class of the ship and the value so you can see them at the side. You can tell right off the bat, most of these are enemy ships. Crimson Fleet Ghosts, the Phantom II, couple of Crimson Fleet Wights. Now these are the level 1 version of the Wight. They're still class Cs, but they're the same type of ship we got in our New Game Plus tests. Lots of ecliptic bayonets. I did pick up an ecliptic Claymore along the way. Using the previous technique, I find a ship landing site, and before approaching it, I create a quick save. That's usually done 400 to 600 meters away, and then approach the ship landing site and wait for the sonic boom. If I don't get a ship I like, I restore the quick save, and I approach the ship landing site again. When I find a ship that I like, I can capture the ship, fight through whatever enemies are on board, take the ship back and put it in my garage, switch back to the frontier, and then I have to go do a long sleep on Venus or Copernicus 4 or a similar planet with the time dilation that lets a lot of time pass. That will reset the planet and I can return and start the process again. On the screen you can see the Varun Vigil. This is the first good ship that I picked up. It's a Class B. I did not see any Varun prophecies on this level 30 system. The system itself is still of the same profile as I described in my previous ship hunting videos. This is a moon with a cratered surface, no atmosphere, and helium on it. In the Porma system, that meant I could go to 1A, 1B, and 3A, and maybe there was another one, I don't recall off the top of my head. To park my ship, I put down a outpost beacon just for convenience, and I do a quick save on top of this ridge, looking at the ship landing site. When I get within 200 or 300 meters of the ship landing site, I'll hear a sonic boom, and know that a ship is coming in. At level 12, the only sniper rifle I have is an old Earth hunting rifle, but it does the job nicely. I equip it and look up into the sky to see if I can spot what the ship is before it lands. We've got one coming in. Actually, that one looks like a Crimson Fleet Ghost already. I can see it in the distance. Because I'm flying overhead, with my scanner open, I can often tell what it is in advance. And if I don't like it, I restore immediately, back to the hilltop. We look at the next ship. Rapier. I believe that's Phantom. Crimson Fleet Phantom II. Not a bad ship, but not what I'm looking for. Spacer Jackal. Again, not what I'm looking for. That one looks interesting. The UC Autobahn. I never see those. I believe those are for sale at vendors. I also don't think I'm going to have to fight to get it. I may have to pick the lock on the door, but that's it. This is a Class C cargo hauler. and we'll take it. My first Class C. Over 4,000 kilograms of capacity. Remember, this is a level 12 character that I just started. In the last one I'll show you on Porma 1A, the ship I really hoped would spawn showed up. I can tell by the profile already, it's an ecliptic Claymore. Because of my level, and possibly the level of the system, it won't be the Claymore 3, but a Claymore 1 has the same form and is a great platform, especially at level 12. I won't do it in the video, but I'll take this ship back and make some minor changes and give it a paint job. By the end, I had 32 Class A's, 13 Class B's, 4 Class C's, and 1 oddball ship, which was actually a traveling vendor. So 8% Class C's is a pretty good split as far as I'm concerned. So next I wanted to try the ship hunting technique using the sonic booms, which is back again in the May beta, and we should be able to use it going forward. This usually works best on a moon if I've not been on the moon before, so I've gone to Porma 1B. I'll look around outside. An interesting thing happened here. I got out of my ship, I didn't hear a sonic boom, but there was already a ship ahead of me in the distance, so I started to approach it. As I approached it, I did get a sonic boom about halfway there, and another ship landed to the right of me. So I liked the ship that landed off to the right better than the one that was ahead of me, so I went back to my ship, and I pulled up the local map. I think this is a location where I could use both techniques. And after a couple of cycles, it spawned a Crimson Fleet Wight, another Class C ship. The strange thing is that neither one of these generated a sonic boom when I stepped outside my ship. I had to go to these sites or the ships were already there. The Crimson Fleet Wight is one of the ships I actually wanted to get. In my testing on Porma 1A, 3 of them landed, but they dropped off pirates, the door closed, and they flew away immediately, and I couldn't get into them. This one was waiting on the ship landing site, and I just came in. I fought all the pirates on board, but then I took the ship. Decent cargo capacity. Nice set of weapons. So at this point, I have 6 ships in my storage. The newly painted Claymore, with a few minor updates. The UC Autobahn. So I still want to hunt ships using the sonic boom method. So this time I'm going to go to Porma 3A. I've landed, I've made a hard save, and I'm looking for places on the new surface map that look like landing sites. Because I don't know at this point in time if when I step out, I'm going to get a sonic boom or not. So again, I made a hard save right here. I'll step outside. And I get a sonic boom right away. And there's a ship. I'm going to follow this one all the way in, because the first one that lands also going to tell me where the ship landing site is. And if I can find a point of interest nearby, I'll also know how far away it is. The ship's landed, but it's not on the local map yet. Let's try it again. It still hasn't quite settled. Give it another second or two. I don't know if this will help. No. Okay, I had to run up, and I can see that's a fueling station. It's almost 800 meters away. And now the ship is visible on the local map. So it's a small ship. I don't think I want it, but I know that it's 800 meters away. So the first time I step out of my ship and I hear the sonic boom and a ship comes in, I'm taking a little bit of extra time to find out where the ship lands so I know where it's going to show up next time. So now that I've reset and reloaded, I know where the ship's going to go. In addition, now that I know that I can get a sonic boom, I'm going to do a quick save inside my ship before I get out. Step outside, hear the sonic boom, hear the ship coming in. I'm just running over here just so that I can identify the location. I don't think it's necessary. Looks like a Crimson Fleet Ghost. And I restore. Now the difference between the sonic boom method and the ship landing site method that I started with is probably the cycle time once you get going. This takes probably 30 seconds for me to do a restore and then to wait for the ship to come down and to be able to determine what type of ship it is. Now that's also very dependent on my ability to recognize the ship by sight. I'm either going to have to wait for it to get on the ground and look at what the model looks like, and that could take some time, or I'm going to be able to see it in the air and decide whether I like it or don't like it. For some ships, I know exactly what I'm looking for, especially the Crimson Fleet Wight, the Spacer Hyena, and the Claymore. Those are easy to recognize. There's a lot of other ships that are a little more difficult to recognize, and I could spend probably a minute trying to figure out what the ship is, and if I really have to know and I can't determine at a distance, I might have to run 800 meters to get to it. It all depends on how close that landing site is. When I was on Porma 1A, and I had found a ship landing site, I could position myself about 300 or 400 meters away from it, and then every time I ran up to it, I was triggering a ship, and I would almost always see exactly what the ship model was in my scanner, because by the time I got there, it would be in my scanner and the title would be visible. That process took a little over a minute for each cycle. I think both of them are pretty comparable. It just depends on what your goals are and what you're comfortable with, really.
Don't rush the scan. Wouldn't want to overlook anything valuable.
If I got into a pattern, I could do 50 ships in an hour without too much trouble. If I was capturing a lot of those ships and taking them back to sell, it would take me considerably longer. But given the fact that over 50 ships, the total value is somewhere around 7 million credits face value, if I go through the process of registering them in space, not with the vendor, and then selling them, assuming I pull about 10% of the value back to myself, it's still a pretty good way to make over 500,000 credits in a reasonable amount of time. There are other ways to make 1 million credits. There are other ways to make 500,000 credits in this game, but it's not a terrible way if you don't mind a little bit of a grind doing ships. So those are the two techniques. They both still work with the May beta, which means they should work going forward. They work with low-level characters as well as high-level characters. They are essentially the same techniques that were used in the New Game Plus videos. And if you want more information, go back and look at those videos as well. I haven't really found anything different. If you're looking for just the perfect ship for you, this might be a way to do it. If you are trying to make some credits, because that's the way you like to make credits, this might be a good way to do that too. So I hope it works for you. If it does, leave a comment. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember that today is the only day, yesterday is gone, and the power of imagination makes us infinite. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and get notifications. This is Kinnear, and I'm out of here.